Hello everybody, this is HD Shaves here. I hope this finds you well and in good spirits. Well, it's certainly been a long time since I made one of these videos. I hope I still remember how to do this, but something tells me I've done maybe 100 of these now. I don't know, I'd have to go check. And I think when you do something that much, it's kind of hard to forget. So we're going to be getting rid of this mustache today. It survived a bit longer than I would have expected, in that I started it before November. Some of you might know I always grow it out for November and Movember for that reason. And then I had a couple of recitals to kind of host this past week, and I wanted to keep it for that, but now it's time to go. So what will I be using to take care of that today? I'll be using the WEC Sexto Blade just for the mustache itself. I found that that is quite satisfying when I've taken this thing down over the years to use the WEC. I was using that daily for, I don't know, a month and a half, and then I kind of got tired of it, so what I switched to most recently was this Wolfman WR2 1.25 dual comb razor in bronze. I've been using this for a couple weeks, and that's been enjoyable, so I'll be using that after I take down the mustache itself. I'm doing a little bit of a soap den tour. I had been killing off soaps one by one. I finished a tub of Declaration Grooming Albizia. I finished a Zingari Balm recently, maybe one other. But now I'm doing like a den tour where I try to use every soap that I still have to see if I get any enjoyment out of it. And in this case, we're on Declaration Grooming Massacre of the Innocents. I remember that this was quite earth-shattering at the time when it came out in it must have been 2019 or 2020, as a dupe of the Parfums de Marly Herod. I don't know if any other shaving brands had duped the scent at that point. It's a beautiful tobacco, vanilla, cinnamon kind of scent. Not something I'd want to wear every day, but every once in a while it's very nice. And the milk steak soap base, that is. And then I recently switched out my travel brushes. So this had been my travel brush, which is a Dogwood handle with a Maggard Timberwolf, but I recently relegated the Wolf Whiskers 22 millimeter TGN synthetic to be travel. That brush is a beautiful handle, but the knot itself is a little bit more on the scrubby side, and I used that for months, and I kind of wondered, well, why don't I use something softer, and then I can use that for travel, which is especially nice because it's only a 22 millimeter knot. Okay, that's the gear talk. Let's start building a lather here. How's everybody been doing? Please let me know what new shaving things you've been trying this year. To be honest, I can't recall much of anything new that I tried this year. Again, a little bit my own fault in that I was at the Maggard meet, and I was so busy doing those video interviews that I forgot to go around and pick up my freebie samples from the artisans. You know, artisans are very nice to bring little samples of new scents, and somehow I completely forgot to do that. I'm also coming up on 1 year without buying things, which is kind of incredible. The time really just flies by, which of course begs the question, how will I continue to interact with this world in the new year, in 2024? And I just, I've really enjoyed staying in touch with all of you. It reminds me of some other hobbies I had when I was younger that, I was very into for some years, and then I stopped buying things or stopped going to tournaments in certain cases for some of those hobbies. But regardless, over the years it was still nice to keep in touch, and it's a good reminder that even people you meet in weird parts of the world, like shaving, they might be your friends for a very long time. So always good to think about that, and I appreciate everybody who has taken time out of their lives and willingly chosen to meet up with me this year. It's been really great to see everybody. Definitely didn't think I would get together with as many people this year, just kind of due to my schedule and my interest, like I was saying. But you know, people have been really kind to stay in touch and make an effort to see me, so that's been cool. I have not quite figured out this milkshake base yet again. There was a time where, you know, again, milkshake as a soap was really earth-shattering as well, and people, you know, this is all people would use for a certain amount of time, and I was certainly one of those people. But I don't know, I think I fell out of favor with milkshake specifically because it is such a soft soap. There was a trend toward soft soaps in kind of 2019 or so, and then people started wanting firmer soaps, and then also if you are using a commercial soap like Tabac or a shave stick or something, obviously those are going to be much firmer than an artisan soap like milkshake. And so yeah, I don't know, I feel like it was just kind of a weird timing when I'm thinking back on it now. But this is certainly a really good soap base. My particular tub has held up over the years. I've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, and it still lathers up well, as you can see, and it still smells pretty good. So okay, we're back, and I always say this to you all when I do these mustache videos, but it's also to myself, which is when you're taking down something like this, you have to resist the urge to push down. So here we go. Let's see how it goes. And I do recommend that you keep like a plastic soup bowl in the sink. Because then it doesn't go down your drain. You can dump it somewhere else. Looks like I did get myself there. And these wet blades are really amazing. You know, they'll stay sharp just for so long. I mean, I felt like, well, for that month or two where I was using this razor for every shave, I really figured out the amount of pressure you need to use with this razor, which is the least amount of pressure I think I've ever used with a razor, which is to say no pressure. So that went okay. We're going to switch to the WR2 here, and I like to start on the open comb side. You don't have to, but I like to do it for the whole first pass like this. And then switch to the solid bar on the successive passes. I guess this is a good time to update you all on the weather here in the Windy City. Just to say it's still windy, certainly, but it really hasn't been that bad so far this year. We had snow on Halloween, which that seems to happen here every couple of years. That's like the first real snow here is right around Halloween. So we had that, and that was kind of a bummer for some of the trick-or-treaters, some of the kids. I'm sure some loved it and didn't care. But since then, there hasn't really been much snow. It got very cold a couple weeks ago. Like the high was like 20 degrees, and so that was certainly a good reminder of what's to come. And it's been easy not to complain, I think, about the weather so far this season, which is a good thing. I have a saying that if you're complaining about the cold here before the new year, well, then January, February, March, those are going to be terrible. So I try to remain as optimistic as possible for this part of the season. Okay, first pass down, I'll rinse, and we'll come back for pass number 2 in just a moment. Pass number 2, Massacre of the Innocents. Okay, here's pass number 2 across the grain mostly with the WR2. We're going to switch to the solid bar side. And so I'm sure as you all have experience with this hobby or other ones in the past, usually when you stop spending time or money on one thing, you start spending those things on another hobby. In this case, it's been running for me, and I started last year in 2022, but I don't think, it's hard to remember now, but I don't think I ran more than like a couple miles at any point in 2022. I really took things slow, and I used one of those trainer apps. I think it was called Couch to 5K, or they have Couch to 10K, depending on what kind of race you want to go for. And I highly recommend those apps because if they work for someone as not naturally good at running as I am, then it can work for you too. So yeah, it's been quite a build-up in that, for example, last month, in November, I ran 100 miles in the month for the first time, which to some people that's not that much, and to some people that's a lot. It just all depends on what your experience and training is like. We officially did a 15-kilometer race last month, which that's 9.3 miles. And then we are training for a half marathon in January. We have one in January, one in February, and then one in April also. And so it's been a real difference from last year only running a couple miles to now. Usually every weekend I run, like on a Saturday, I'll run 10 or 12 miles or something. And remember when I said I'm not naturally good at running, which is to say we run pretty slowly, and as you add more miles, it takes up more and more time. And it's really been a good thing for me in that I was finding myself at certain times of the year with a lot of time, like, when gigs aren't happening every week or multiple times a week sometimes. it was nice to be able to dedicate, 2 hours going out to run. So I'm hoping that'll help, like especially in January and February when things are very slow here for music because it's so cold. Hoping to, still keep running out there, and I'm not too afraid of the cold, just maybe slightly. Okay, that was a good second pass. I think I'm just going to do a little kind of touch up off camera. This razor is very efficient, and so I normally don't do more than 2 passes. But I'm just going to do a couple touch-ups and then I'll come back and talk to you over aftershave. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm back, and I really didn't do that much touching up at all, just a couple stray hairs here and there. This WR2 1.25 is really fantastic for me for every other day shaving. I wouldn't want to use it every day, but with my current shaving schedule, it treats me very well. I had a time in my history where I was trying to use the mildest razor possible, because I was shaving more like once a day, but now as I stretch out, in between shaving days, I find myself going back towards more aggressive razors like the WR2 and also the WEC. So my thoughts on that. To recap, we used the WR2 and the WEC. We used Massacre, the Innocence by Declaration Grooming. We used the Dogwood brush with a Maggard Timberwolf handle. And I almost forgot that I need to apply some Declaration Grooming Unscented Liniment. It's officially cold enough to where I feel like I can break this out. I generally reserve this for when it's like the high is around freezing, which is what it is today. When it's warmer than that, I think this is a little overkill for my skin. Which, if you haven't used this, it's just like a really heavy balm. And the unscented version in particular does have a little bit of a animalic smell to it, but that goes away rather quickly, and my skin really appreciates the moisture coming from this product. So I'm gonna see if I can't stick to using this for this winter season, and then maybe I can knock this thing out as well. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Again, let me know what you've been up to, what shaving products you've been using, any new hobbies, any running tips. I'm sure I have a couple experienced runners that watch my channel, so would love to hear from those people. And happy holidays, everybody. If I don't see you before the new year, happy new year. All of those things. So thank you so much for now. This has been HD Shaves. Take care. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.